Is there such a thing as a 2D object, George?
Yes, I mean, I said object is a general word or a general class of things, which we call objects. You have two-dimensional objects, three-dimensional objects, 4, 5, 6, 10-dimensional, 15-dimensional objects. They are mathematical constructs. But
mathematically, but did you finish? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just going to say, when you use object by itself, that generally implies we are talking about a physical three-dimensional object. Now, if I want to talk about something other than that, I would qualify it with an adjective saying a two-dimensional object or a one-dimensional. A one-dimensional object would be a point, I guess. But, you know, you can further qualify it by the use of an adjective.
When you studied spherical geometry, when did you first learn about it? Where were you when you were studying it? What class were you taking?
I think it was geometry in like 6th grade.
Spherical geometry in 6th grade. You were studying spherical geometry in 6th grade?
Well, you know,
so what was your background?
Oh, here we go. Here comes Rocky.
You just lied again.
Here comes Rocky. He's good telling
I just put it out.
All right, I'm out of here. I'm sorry. I can only take so much Rocky.
5th grade spherical geometry.
Can you imagine? I mean, just a blatant lie right there. That was such an obvious lie.
The way I understand it, it tends to be a logistical problem because he lives he has to drive 2 miles to get there from his home, and so, you know, there's a lot of time that's wasted in just, you know, getting to and from the spot.
2 miles, eh?
Yeah, well, I guess, I don't know what average speeds are there in the UK. For here, you know, a 2-mile drive would basically be about 100 miles, but...
The videographer that did the Black Swan, in that same video, he shows you water obstructing the oil rigs.
The Black Swan.
This is what you normally see.
The Black Swan's a logical argument, right? Not a picture.
No, it's broken. It's an illogical argument.
No, the Black Swan is a logical argument, right?
Go ahead and debunk it logically, left lane.
Yeah, he talks about the 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height and feet.
Wait, no, wait a minute. Sorry.
That's the geometry.
No, you're talking about...
He leaves out refraction. He leaves out refraction.
The logical statement that QE brought, not the Black Swan, right? The Black Swan is just the proof of one thing proves that, right? One sighting of a black swan proves that not all swans are white, right? That's the basic principle of the Black Swan, right?
Well, that's it, yeah.
So that's not what you're not talking about debunking that, are you?
Yeah, the image is severely refracted, and the argument he makes is flawed.
Oh, you're talking about QE's argument, not the Black Swan.
Either way you want to do it.
Do you want to start off with the Black Swan then? If you do the Black Swan, debunk the Black Swan, and then we'll deal with what QE's argument was.
The Black Swan is an outlier. It's not what you normally see.
Oops. And the proof of one black swan disproves the statement all swans are white, right?
Yep.
Right, so you can't debunk the Black Swan as a logical concept, right?
He doesn't use it that way, though. That's why the argument flawed. QE.
Right, so you aren't talking about the Black Swan. You're talking specifically about QE's argument, are you?
Yeah, the Black Swan, as a Black Swan, is just simply stating that all swans are not white. But that's not the way he uses this image in his argument. He says, I've got one image that's severely refracted. That means Earth's flat, and that's not accurate.
I don't think that's the way it's laid out, is it?
Yeah, that you're misrepresenting the whole argument.
Yeah, do you know the what QE's argument is. Can you recite it out to us? Because that doesn't seem like
yeah, I can verbatim, but I mean it's been done, and I think it's sort of childish and silly to sit here and quote shit like that. Everybody knows the.
But your interpretation seems completely wrong with it.
Hey, am I part of that everyone, Howard? Am I everyone?
I don't know. Do you not know it?
I'd like Howard to tell us.
I know it well enough that Howard just misrepresented it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959, then the horizon can be no more than 1.22 miles times the square root of the observer's height in feet. And then it goes on. The horizon isn't at 1.22 miles, therefore Earth is flat. Yeah.
Well, the Earth is not a sphere, right?
Yeah, but it's
listen, right. So look, even in your P, you didn't have flat Earth, right? So just stick to the claims of the syllogism. So it's not that the horizon isn't at 1.22 miles, therefore the Earth is flat. It's simply the horizon isn't at 1.22 miles. Right? It's just an observation. It's an observation.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Right?
Which is the same thing you just called George's stuff. You called it yourself an observation. Congratulations.
It is an observation. But
Exactly.
It's got a very rich data set attached to it.
Yeah, that shows all the refractions that he assumes there is.
No.
Yeah,
The conclusion.
that's exactly what he said it was for in the beginning, was refraction.
The conclusion of George's observation is Earth is a sphere.
Okay, I have a question. Let's say we have a spirit level. Let's say, George, it's 6 foot long spirit level.
Yeah.
Is it level at all points? In other words, the middle and the two ends, are they level?
Technically not, no. Only the center, where the bubble is, in the window that you look at. That establishes your level at that point. But technically speaking, if you had a spirit level, say, that was 2 miles long in each direction from your bubble, and you hung a plumb line in the middle, it would hang vertical perpendicular to your spirit level. But if you went out 2 miles, for example, and hung your plumb line, it would not be perpendicular to your spirit level. Actually, in order to detect that difference, you really have to go out much more than 2 miles, because the curvature of the Earth and the verticals only change 1 degree every 69 miles. So even for a 2 mile spirit level, you'd never ever be able to detect that the verticals are a little bit different, not perpendicular to the spirit level. That's the problem, because the Earth is so huge.
So that's what we were saying before. You guys think that level is only at one certain point.
No.
You just said,
Perfect.
George, you just said as much.
No, I did not. You misinterpreted.
Listen,
Level.
Jesse. All right. No, we'll call it the sea line experiment for you. We'll do the sea line. Here's a sea line experiment for you, okay? Do it in 13 days from now. You take a stick of known length, you put it in 90 degrees to the ground, plumb to the ground, and you measure the shadow at your local noon, right, when the sun is highest in the sky, okay? And you measure the length of your shadow versus the length of the stick and a little bit of math, and you know that on the 13 days from now that the sun is over the equator, you can then calculate the diameter of the radius, so the radius of the Earth from you to the equator. And then you therefore have, if you have...
Well, what's the difference between solar noon and clock noon?
Because the time... You don't know the difference? Why don't you fucking Google it?
Wait a minute, man.
I just told you. Because you asked, I'm tired of your fucking sea lining, you fucking moron. Haven't you? I told you it's 100 times. Stop sea lining me. I told you to do it when the sun is highest in the sky. That is your solar noon. I just told you. I gave you solar noon. When the sun is highest in your local sky.
I don't know, really like, you know what, if we get up to name calling. There's really no need in that. If you want to yell at each other and tell each other you're stupid or an idiot or an asshole or whatever, fine with that. But the name calling really doesn't need to go down, okay? From either side. There's no point in it. Let's move on to something a little better.
It said it's okay to name call, but then you said it's not okay to name call.
You think me? You won't call me an asshole. That's not name calling, buddy. You want to call me a hillbilly? Now that's name calling.
Look, I just like to be geometrically exact.
Well, guess what?
Since that's what it is.
Guess what? Close enough works for science.
Wow, that's a quote.
Yeah.
Close enough.
NASA.
It's true, man. It's true.
It's true, yeah.
Close enough works for science.
That's true. A lot of times close enough is good enough.
Yeah. Except.
Geometry is exact, though, right?
Well, it's...
You've got to send this to QE. You'll love this.
I know, QE will love it, because QE's an numpty too. But he doesn't quote that one. The cherry-picking weaseling bastard. I bet he doesn't quote that one either.
The axiom as well. Triangle axiom.
It's all fine, Biff.
Yeah.
Euclidean geometry, yes. All nice straight line.
Well, that's what it is, right? In reality, we use Euclidean.
Spherical trig and spherical geometry.
No, that's it. Have you heard of a sphere? It's a three-dimensional Euclidean shape.
This just happens to be one of those things.
Blue, have you heard of a three-dimensional Euclidean shape called a sphere? You might have heard of it within Euclidean geometry, because there is no definition for a sphere in spherical geometry, is there?
Really? What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. How do you have a sphere in spherical geometry, Blue? How do you do that?
Oh, check this out. Euclid's
I believe it's implied in the name of it.
Euclid's
That was a pretty weak answer.
Yeah.
Definition number 15. The axis of a sphere is a straight line which remains fixed and about which the semicircle is turned. Euclid's definition 15.
Yeah.
But look.
That's a three-dimensional shape, right?
6.
Book 11.
Well, yeah, you're right. 11. Yep.
So what are the first two definitions in that book?
I'm all. It only. The one I'm looking at only shows. I'm at 14. I don't see anything before that.
It says length, breadth, and height, thickness. That's the three dimensions, and then it says the surface is that which bounds it.
Now give us the definition within spherical geometry for a sphere.
Yep.
It keeps getting bounced between 2D and 3D.
Oh, who's correct? Which
Well,
one?
give us the definition within spherical geometry of a sphere, please.
Spherical geometry is the geometry.
I think
the two-dimensional surface of a sphere.
Conceptual.
What's a sphere then? In that.
In this context, the word sphere refers only to the two-dimensional surface. Other terms like ball or solid sphere are used for the surface together. It's three-dimensional interior.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the one I posted earlier. Yep, that's a good one.
Of the Euclidean shape then, right?
So in that case, we don't live in a sphere, we live in a solid sphere.
Euclidean, three-dimensional sphere, right? So you have to use Euclidean geometry, not spherical.
No, you get to use spherical geometry.
How does that work?
It's
not very logical thinking you guys got going on.
So who's correct? Are you guys correct?
Yeah.
Or is the rest of geometry correct? Correct.
What do you mean, geometry?
Yeah, we're correct.
So there's no such thing as spherical geometry?
Well, what's your definition of a square?
That's okay. They don't know.
you postulates and therefore
Just give us your definition of a square in spherical geometry, will you?
Yeah, it's cool.
Come on, B-Ball. Just give us a quick square. Quick square. Come on, B-Ball.
Have you rewritten the books, Ben?
I'd like you to
all go with you.
just send us. Just give us the definition of a square in spherical geometry for us.
I don't think that. What's the point of that question?
It would show us what you know about your spherical geometry that you want to claim.
A square?
Yeah.
A square or a solid square?
A square. Just a square.
See, this is the part where when they say you don't understand, but we do because we've looked into this and read quite a bit about it.
You do, but you deny parts of geometry. That's the problem.
Give us the definition of a square, please, people. Come on.
It's a lot more complicated than the sphere.
Don't be stalling. Pardon?
It says sphericalgeometry.com.
Because you know, if you want to define a square as an object that has only 90-degree internal angles. Square in spherical geometry could have 3 sides, 4 sides, or 5 sides.
What?
What?
Sure about that?
No way.
Absolutely.
By the way, I didn't mean a solid square, I meant a solid cube.
Let's give us the definition then of a square. Come on,
A square on the surface of a sphere could have 3 sides, 4 sides, or 5 sides.
All right, a 3 or 4 or 5-sided shape.
It's having only 90
Okay. Anything else?
Now, if you want to define it otherwise, if you want to say it's a 4-sided, only works in plain terms.
So pull up these definitions.
If you can have a great,
you guys agree with certain definitions, but you deny other ones.
if you have a great circle, right? If you divide that into 4, could you call that a square?
No, you connect.
That'd be 4 straight lines connected together with an angle.
Oh, Alien has posted it right there.
4-sided shape.
Yeah, he's got it.
It's funny in this book of the elements, he calls it line.
3 sides. There's only 3 of them.
No, I think he's shown us a picture of the horizon above the crosshairs.
No,
He's the only person other than OLM that's just said it as well. They're the only 2 people I've ever heard that say that.
So, Beth, you think he deliberately pointed his auto level down at the water?
Do you think?
And then took a picture of it?
Do you think you can do that with an auto level, people?
Sure. I mean, is that what you think he did?
Theodolite.
Is that what you think he did?
Theodolite, people.
Okay, what do you think he did? How did he get the crosshairs below the horizon?
Just tilted it down.
Is that what you think he did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's your opinion.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
even though we all know he didn't do that, and he wouldn't present something like that, knowing full and well that he purposely pointed it down below the horizon, right?
Yeah, he shouldn't.
I don't think he would purposely do that. I don't think anybody would purposely do that.
I would say someone would do that.
In your mind, there is no refractive condition atmosphere could offend that would cause that phenomenon. Is that what you're saying, Bill?
Yeah, I've never seen it. Yes, I've never seen the horizon or the land that should be parallel lift above that. Never seen it ever, apart from with the picture that I'm going to show you in a minute.
We've got an observation from George that shows it.
Yeah.
And your contention is George faked it. Okay.
No, George just might not say his equipment properly. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure George is well aware of how to set up his equipment.
Well, you'd think so.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure.
I would guarantee. Well aware of how to set up his equipment.
That's one, and then that's the other.
Can he even
There you go. Look at that. Check that.
calibrate this level?
That's over 2.7 miles.
Why do you think he would show? Why do you think he would show that?
What?
Why do you think he would show that?
I don't know. What do you think it shows to
Probably
you?
to show us the effects of the conditions of that day, the effect it had on the observation.
What effect do you think it did have on the observation?
I mean, you're looking at it.
What he was doing.
Yeah. See, it looks like you can see a bit of land behind it as well. Like, are you sure that looks like it's...
If you wanted, you could ask George. Say, hey man, what were the conditions on that day that gave you that observation? What did he tell you? What did he say?
He said he didn't do anything. Although he did give up, you know, that guy from Maine.
Did he tell
said
you?
that he didn't know how to set his equipment. George definitely didn't.
Did he tell you the conditions on that day and why he got the results he did? Did you ask him that question?
Why should I have done? You should do coaching lessons next time we get into a debate. I'll be sure to ask you to.
You don't care about the
question list
days. So you wouldn't care about the conditions on that day?
No, I was just shocked that I saw somebody that said that Horizon rose above the crosshairs. I found it fantastical. I thought it was amazing that somebody could do that, and I was absolutely certain he hadn't set his equipment up properly. But he said no, definitely he'd set his equipment up properly because he knows what he's doing.
Hey, this looks pretty crazy. What were the conditions on that day?
No, like I said, hey, this looks pretty crazy, George. Are you sure you didn't make a mistake and not set up your equipment properly?
But did you also ask him, hey, what were the conditions on that day?
No, I've just people.
Why wouldn't you ask him that?
No, I didn't.
Why would you not? Why would you not ask him?
Because, as you know, George obfuscates like fuck as soon as you start. So I asked him about that, and he just went off.
Yeah, you're accusing somebody of obfuscating. It's a little disingenuous, Pastor. That's about all you do.
What do you mean?
I'm asking you a direct question of why you didn't ask him about...
I didn't ask him it, people. You've only just, this moment, asked me about it.
Well, you're presenting this as like, wow, I think because he set his equipment up improperly, and that's not the case.
No, I'm just saying... George, people, I'm saying George is the only person, apart from OLM, that I've just heard say it, that has said this. I've showed you the pictures... I've told you my opinion of it, right? You can have your own opinion. Nobody's saying you have to take my opinion on. It's just what I think. You can do whatever you want.
What did I say that you're quoting me on?
You said something about the horizon rising to eye level.
Yeah, I was giving an example of parroting that flat earthers do. Okay, and
they were parroting George.
Saying something without understanding what the words mean.
Who's a flat earther here?
Yeah, but I said that's what I was saying. George is the only person I've ever heard saying that. So are you saying that they are parroting George?
I made a video called Flat Earthers Admit That It Doesn't Rise to Eye Level because it was clear. And the fact of the matter is, it used to be said a lot.
By whom? As I say, I've never heard anyone say it.
One by one that it's not true.
Other than George. So George says it, right? Are you okay with that? Look at your pictures of it!
In my video, I show that you do Google a YouTube search, yeah, and you'll see lots of flat earth channels claiming that. Not me.
That was
getting straight.
I've never heard any of them other than
You
George.
can't see something is not proof of anything.
Just giving you
The
the
horizon
pictures
can't
and
rise
telling
to eye
you.
level because there's a distance between your feet and your eyes, so...
That was a pretty solid claim of flat earthers. Wow, I don't know what happened.
Oh, it was constant.
Yeah, to be fair though, they have let off on
you're
it.
making
Thank
it
God.
up, you know. I think you're making it up.
Well, the because it's too easy to show that that's not true.
So is that why George is saying
It was
it now
you guys
then?
that started claiming it for us. Pushing us into claiming it's like, no.
We can pull up many videos where that's the claim.
Yeah, it's almost like we're making progress, you know? We had Essie admitting that LIGO picks up gravitational waves. Like bits and pieces, baby steps.
And Bev, you see the difference in those two pictures you posted? Notice how the one on the bottom is like kind of compressed.
Yeah.
You don't think that would have anything to do with the atmosphere on that day, don't you?
I just think it looks like it's from a completely different position, and with the crosshairs in the wrong position also. But that's just me, you know.
It's the same sequence of videos of George. I saw, I don't know, 8 months or a year ago, I think it was. It was all shot on the same day, I believe. Didn't move the auto level.
Well, like I say, it's not what it looks like to me, but hey, you can do what you want, think what you want. But it looks in that picture like it's above the crosshairs, like i.e. above eye level.
That was the reason, as I understood it. George was making that series of videos to show why it is you don't want to be making these sorts of measurements late in the afternoon.
George was showing that flat earthers of old were correct when they said it rose above the eye level, right? In fact, not to eye level, beyond. George has done. He's gone one step beyond than that.
There's no reason to believe it wouldn't.
Well, so like when OLM was just saying it was fun and laughing and people were parroting it, I guess we can forget about that now then, right?
At the right place. You know, this is how you get the black swan picture. At the right place. You know, this is how you get the black swan picture. At the right place. You know, this is how you get the black swan picture.
Shore to shore. Rancy's doing that one, isn't he? Yeah, we've seen that.
That's exactly how you make a black swan picture.
By making the horizon rise above the eye level. Yeah, like the old flat earther claims.
You can't see the shoreline on 6 miles away. The upper picture.
You know,
you sure as hell see it in the lower.
Pretty soon you guys might want it to live on a two-dimensional surface, you never know. Sounds like you're going the right way.
No, I think the explanation is quite simple.
A quick question. If you end up being involved in or witness or observe or on any level a physical measurement of the Earth using, meaning not optical, that indeed indicates its horizontal planar nature, that you're able to verify yourself in this lifetime. What would that then kind of mean for you in terms of everything you've gone through? Like,
so that would suggest to me a number of possibilities that I would have to eradicate, right? So I would have to eradicate the possibility that I was being conned, that I was delusional, and that I still had a strong grip on reality. If after assuring myself of those things, the observation was still in place, then I would want to know about the behaviour of the other systems now. Has the behaviour of the other systems changed? In other words, has the nature of reality changed? Because it seems unlikely given the evidence we have available, it's not impossible that new evidence will become available tomorrow, which I think is sort of at the bottom of your question. Is there, if new evidence becomes available, will I change my position? Yes, is the answer, but it would have to be compelling evidence. Given the amount of evidence that we have available to us that is consistent with spheroidal Earth, and only a spheroidal Earth, it would need to be compelling evidence, and the most likely explanation would seem to be that the nature of reality has been altered somehow. That what we thought was, and that would be verified by rerunning the old experiments. If we rerun the old experiments and we get a different result, then we're in real trouble. In particular, the geometry of space doesn't seem to make any sense.
Sorry, Tony, if you said that, I banged a stake in the ground at point A, first point, and then I was going to move that point to another point. Yeah, are you worried? Are you seriously thinking that surveyors are worried that the Earth is moving underneath this post is going to make it inaccurate?
No, what I'm worried about is if you build a large, heavy structure, is the underlying Earth well packed enough to support the weight of that structure, or will it compact under the weight of the structure? That's what I'm worrying about. Does that make sense?
No, it'll just be the top of the post. There's no structure there. It's just literally
okay, so you want an 800-meter long material, but you understand that soil isn't concrete, right? And there will be, so it's a non-trivial. It depends what accuracy you want, and it depends, how accurate do you want to make, because you can throw a lot of money at this. It's a non-trivial engineering exercise. I think you guys tried looking into the cost of this forcing. It's going to be really, really expensive to do. That's what it means.
That wasn't too bad from when I got it for 600 meters.
Okay, how much deviation was there?
Well, what I was going to say is we actually used a water level to establish a horizontal.
Okay, so under the assumption the water level doesn't change over 600 meters, which is in itself demonstrably false, right? Drag tanks, as I was explaining earlier, are about 500 to 600 meters long, and they have to account for the curvature of the surface of the water in them.
Alright, how much?
Earth's gravitational field, something like 15 millimeters, I think, something like that. Maybe I've got the units. But they have to have a. They have to adjust.
It was less, according to them, it was less than 1 millimeter. Do you agree?
I wouldn't necessarily dispute it if the people making the drag tanks say that it's that's fine.
Well, so 150 meters, there's a 0.5, half of a millimeter.
Yes, well, I was talking about tanks that are 500 to 600 meters long. So, and if you multiply,
the only one was 400 and something feet. Actually, the
largest. Yeah, I think the world's largest might be about 600 meters, but I'm not sure. I think the largest in Europe is about 500 meters. But anyway, these things are very precisely engineered, and they do have to account for the curvature and the surface of the water, demonstrating that the claim that there is no demonstrable curve in large standing bodies of water to be false.
I have to give credit where credit's due. This whole tilt thing here that I've been doing this past year, I got the idea from Bilu. I'm not kidding. The level surface drops down from the horizontal plane at a rate of 8 inches times the distance in miles squared. And again, they built that thing level. I just used a survey rod and a plumber's level. This level has a groove in it. So it just, sits right on top of that round surface. And again, I didn't sit here and calculate this myself. I have to give credit where credit's due. This whole tilt thing here that I've been doing this past year, I got the idea from Bilu. I'm not kidding. Well, it looks curved to me. The thing was built to be level above that water.
It's level.
And again, I didn't sit here and calculate this myself. The way I phrase it is a monument to the curvature of the Earth.
And Jesse has measured the curvature of the Earth, and he has measured the radius.
And again, I didn't sit here and calculate this myself.
There is no presupposing R anymore. Okay.
No, we have R.
It has been directly measured by Jesse Kozlowski.
I have to give credit where credit's due. This whole tilt thing here that I've been doing this past year, I got the idea from Bilu. I'm not kidding. And again, I didn't sit here and calculate this myself.
R is no longer presupposed.
No, it's actually it's monumented. And again, I didn't sit here and calculate this myself. I had to roll the windows up. I had to put it in amphibious mode. Oh, man.
What do you mean by vertical angle?
Well,
from your position.
When you're imagining that angle, you don't think it's an angle from your eye, from the horizontal downwards, do you?
No, it's the change in your up versus the up of that location.
So are you the dropper?
Where's this 1 degree measured from? Where is it measured?
Well, it would be the difference in the horizontals, or the difference in the verticals, the difference in two lines that are established the same way.
I don't know yet. Sounds confused. The difference in the horizontals?
Yes. So it would be the difference in the horizontals, different in the plumb lines, different in the verticals. All lines would have a 1 degree difference at 69 miles. It's like all of your lines, your plumb, your horizontal, your vertical, all of these lines have been shifted by 1 degree when you move 69 miles.
How does that work on a ball?
Well, just how does it work in reality?
Yeah. It's a math problem, not like a global problem.
Over 1 mile, you've got 8 inches. What's that? 2 miles. Come on, what's 2 miles? Do a little bit of
Yep. 16.
Ooh, slope Earth. Nice. Come on. What's 2 miles?
16 inches.
Wrong. Come on.
Wrong. Quadratic.
Quadratic. Come on.
Quad.
32. There you go. So from mile 1, if it's 8 inches, what's it from mile 1 to mile 2 if it's 32 inches?
Is it really like that? I thought it was 8, 16, 32, 64, like that. That's what I went to. So each time it's 4 times?
Yeah.
Times by itself.
It's a quadratic equation. It's impossible to figure into reality. Because from the centre you've only got 8 inches either way, but from one end you've got 32 inches, and how is that possible? It just isn't. It's impossible.
Fowler's Canal.
Yep.
Impossible.
Impossible.
And I would like, I don't even know why we're arguing against somebody who doesn't know the quadratic formula of Earth curve when they're telling us that it would work out over 2,000 feet or 3 miles or 4 miles. I would like for you to sit in an engineering meeting and tell that engineer that's plotted this out on a planar surface to the very 1/16th of an inch in most site plans, and tell them that it really doesn't matter.
What about if I was to give you some other logic?
We can try.
if the Earth is a sphere, spherical object, P, you'll take that as a premise, a P?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the surface of liquid water at rest must curve, Q.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the if P then Q, and you're fine with both of those?
Yes, I am fine with both of those.
Okay, then if I could say a water level is a tool to establish a horizontal plane of reference, not Q, therefore not P. Then how would you deal with that one? Because that's a bit simpler, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
I just don't want to get caught up in the minutiae of just trying to do every little nitty-gritty step. I just look at, hey, I've got a straight line here, and this line goes across it at this angle, and this one beside it goes across it at a slightly different angle. Therefore, these two lines cannot possibly be parallel. And then you follow on from there to work out they are converging or diverging downwards. And therefore you can work out at what distance they must be before where they actually intersect.
So
to me, that's a simple proof.
Yeah, you're saying you have a proof that horizontals aren't parallel.
That's absolutely correct.
Modus tollens is a logical statement set up in such a way that the truth of one statement implies the truth of the second. When the second statement, then the first statement, the antecedent, must also be untrue. T-shirt logic is a way for these simple logical principles to be broken down for ease of understanding. One such example is the modus tollens, which has been developed by the logically minded individuals at the next level Discord server. If the Earth is a spherical object, P, then the surface of liquid water at rest must curve, Q. A water level is a tool which establishes a horizontal plane of reference, consequently not Q. It is not Q, therefore it cannot be P. Ergo, the Earth cannot be a spherical object.